The Fortnite final live event is shaping up to be one of the most explosive moments in the game's history. We're diving into the first leaks for next season, and they're hinting at a massive shift in the island's storyline. From the rise of demons to the return of the superhero era, something huge is unfolding on the island right now. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. Stick around till the end, because the wildest details are coming last. So, loopers, today I'm breaking down hidden hints about the final event, the comeback of corrupted Dago. Yup, while the Death Star's literally looming over the island ready to nuke us into oblivion, folks out here are building. Gotta admire the optimism. But jokes aside, it's pretty clear. This all feels like a warm-up to the superhero theme next season. And Crime City? It might get completely wiped or transformed. Maybe into a superhero campus? Or a wholesome hero hub with daily hugs. Who knows? What I do know is we're only a couple weeks out from the new season. So if you want to roll in looking like a full-blown hero and not some sad little milk carton in boots, hit that like and subscribe button. Now here's the plot twist no one saw coming. The portal to the spirit realm is back. That's right. This marks the third version of the gate we've seen in Chapter 6. And word is, it with full-blown dark magic. No golden kintsugi, no sacred glue, just raw, corrupted demon energy. And look, every time a portal shows up, the main story kicks off. What if the real heroes of this chapter aren't Hope, Jones, and Kendo, but the portals themselves? Just saying. And things just got spooky, by the way. After dipping into the darkness, Dago just casually reappeared on the island. We already saw hints in that cinematic with Big Dill and Brat getting wrecked after trying to rob his shop. But now, it's official. He's rebuilding the same portal that got destroyed back in Chapter 6 Season 1. Mark my words, this is 100% the opener for next season's trailer. Or maybe it's the post-event cutscene after the June 7th showdown. Either way, I'm betting that portal rips open and demons pour out, and our new squad of heroes steps up to stop it. Total movie moment incoming. And that's all map changes I've spotted. Let's get into the real game changer, living NPCs. Not even kidding. Epic just dropped AI-powered NPCs thanks to a new collab with Google Gemini and 11 Labs. First test subject, Darth Vader. The man's got a full voice, actual personality, and you can chat with him via on what he'll say. Though some players already got him to drop a few spicy words. Well, too bad you probably won't be able to pull it off now. Epic already patched that trick. But hey, his Samurai Solitude just to try it out. So yeah, I asked him if he knew anything about the final live event and the Imagine Order, and here's what he said.
Palpatine's designs are beyond your comprehension, apprentice. The Death Star looms as a symbol of absolute power. A lesson this island will soon learn. The final event? A mere footnote in the grand saga of the Empire. Are you questioning my knowledge, Rift Strider Drift?
But most of the time, he just stared at me. Galactic basic translator or not, dude glitched out mid-convo. These smart NPCs still run like a potato sometimes. Slow reactions, long pauses, and sometimes Vader just stands there in awkward silence. Epic's clearly still in beta mode on this one, but honestly, this could be the future of Fortnite. Imagine actually talking to Jonesy about the storyline, or interrogating Hope, if we ever get a proper main character to replace her. Just kidding. And this is probably just the beginning. If this Vader experiment goes well, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing multiple smart NPCs next season. If that happens, yeah, Fortnite's never gonna be the same again. Got ideas for what to ask him? Drop them in the comments. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a whole video interrogating the Dark Lord himself, assuming this vid doesn't flop, of course. Anyway, let's talk loot. The Mandalorian rifle and Wookiee crossbow are back. OGs from Chapter 2. Season 5 will remember the rifle, and the crossbow, old school, but it slaps. Oh, and guess who's back too? Chewbacca. You'll find him randomly at clone troopers' outposts with blue smoke signals. Rescue him and boom, he joins your squad and hands you a mythic shotgun. And that new shotgun? Don't let the size fool you. At first glance, it looks like some weak little pew-pew blaster made to scare off llamas, until it one-shots someone for 150 plus HP. That's when the laughs stop. Sure, the cooldown's rough. Takes nearly 3 seconds to reset. But in close range, this blaster is one of the deadliest guns this season. Oh, and possibly the most important change in this update? Epic finally fixed the matchmaking sound. No more annoying screech. It actually sounds pleasant now. Like not ear-melting, progress. Not gonna lie, Epic really cleaned that up. Way smoother now. Alright, back to the island. Meanwhile, over in the Resistance base, Jonesy and Hope are still gearing up to take down the Death Star. Nothing new on that front yet, but if anything drops, you already know I'll hit you with the update right here and on my channel. Now let's talk skins. And honestly, Epic went hard this time. First up, the new Mandalorian skin. This one's a full-blown customization beast. Helmet, armor, color palette, everything's adjustable. And yeah, it's not the OG Chapter 2 Season 5 Mando, but for a modern version, it slaps. Even if you already own the original, this one's different enough to justify grabbing it. Highly recommend. And if you're planning to join the ranks of the Mandalorians, don't forget to use my creator code PUNKED in the item shop. Your support means a lot. Then there's this black and white armored knight. Super clean, some Squid Games vibes. If you're into those dark lore-coded characters, this one's gonna hit. And for the meme lords, Epic finally added him. Yup, Jar Jar. If you're into chaos with floppy ears, this one's for you. And hey, those weren't the only cosmetics in the patch. I've got all the new skins and items spinning on screen right now. So, if you're just lurking and listening with the video on in the background, yeah, I see you. Eyes on the screen, buddy. Don't make me call you out twice. Honestly, this first update was a win. Like, I wasn't expecting much. And real talk, the fact that they're flipping Fortnite's entire concept on its head like this, that deserves respect. They're literally the first ones out here making live NPCs that react and respond in real time. Bots that talk back throw experiments too soon. And if you want to help keep that energy alive, let's try to hit 1,000 likes on this one. If you want to stay locked into all things neural Fortnite and storyline chaos, make sure you're subbed to this channel, because that's where all the real info drops first. That's gonna do it for me today. But if you didn't drop a like yet, you better hurry.
So, you suggest that I recommend your channel to this audience, punk site? Such blatant appeals for attention are predictable. Do you believe my endorsement would significantly increase your subscriber count?
And in case you've missed the full breakdown of this season's storyline, I've got it right here. Right from the start of the season, we've had a bunch of story quests setting the stage. Star Wars reality has collided with ours, and now we've got the Imperial forces and the Resistance going head-to-head across the island. Scattered around are hidden transmissions, giving us a glimpse into what both sides are planning. From the Resistance's side, it's clear. They're secretly gearing up for a big counterattack. Even though they're hiding out and massively outgunned, they're ready to make a move against the Empire. But there's a problem. They know they're seriously underpowered. They're worried their firepower's nowhere near enough to stand up to the Empire, especially with the Death Star literally pointing at them. Basically, they need a plan, and fast, if they're gonna stand a chance at taking down Palpatine's forces. Meanwhile, over on the Empire's side, they're kind of freaking out too. The clone troopers? They're stranded. Turns out, the area they landed in is so remote, there aren't even transport ships nearby. Some of them are low-key worried they've been abandoned. And to top it off, they're totally weirded out by the Oninoshima vibe. Imagine Imperial troops pulling up and seeing loopers building, emoting, dancing mid-battle. Yeah, not exactly standard Imperial protocol. But here's straight up, reveals that Palpatine's interested in all the scrap metal scattered around the island. They don't explain why yet, but every time the Empire finds debris or metal, they're collecting it and sending it back to the Death Star. Kinda suspicious, right? At first it seems harmless, like okay, maybe he's just hoarding junk. But let's be real, we know Palpatine's never up to anything good. And sure enough, if you've seen the trailer, you already know where this is going. At some point, the Death Star locks onto the island, ready to fire that giant green laser. Yeah, Palpatine's not just collecting scrap, he's gearing up to blow the whole island to pieces. But don't panic yet. That's what the June 7th event's all about. We're gonna infiltrate the Death Star, take down Palpatine, and stop the blast before it's too late. Like I said earlier, the story quests so far? Yeah, kinda light. Not much happening just yet. But don't stress, it's all part of the plan. This season's only 4 weeks long, so everything's moving fast. New quests are dropping every week, and they're stacking up quick to lead us straight into the big event. But here's the cool part. it's not just about the quests. Let's start with Dago, who's easily been the centerpiece of Chapter 6's storyline. At first, he was the hero, rescuing his sister Jade, facing the demons. But now, he's gone full villain, completely possessed by the puppeteer deep inside the spirit realm. And here's the twist. He went there for a reason, to recover a 0-point shard, because that's what everyone's after this chapter. But in this mini-season, the game just flipped again. Palpatine shows up with the Death Star and a full-on army of Star Wars legends pulled from different timelines and universes. We still don't know if he's here for the 0-point shard, or if he just wants to wipe out the island entirely. There's a theory that the massive dark power Daigo unleashed might have caught Palpatine's attention. And now, to prevent any threat to his galactic rule, he's decided to just blow the whole place up. Classic Palps. And honestly, that uncertainty, that question of what does he really want, is what's keeping this whole mini-season lore so compelling. Week by week, we're seeing more rebels pop up, trying to defend the island from the Galactic Empire's grip. Oh, and just in case anyone's confused, yeah, none of this is canon in the actual Star Wars timeline. It's pure Fortnite multiverse madness, and we love it. Now let's talk about this version of Palpatine, because no, he's not the one from the movies. Think of him more like an alternate variant who basically controls the entire galaxy at this point. That's probably why he's also got wild versions like Samurai Darth Vader and even Darth Jar Jar under his command. Yeah, it's that kind of season. So now that we know who we're dealing with, let's zoom in on week 1 of the Star Wars season. This is where we start getting missions from both the Resistance and the Empire. And honestly, from a lore perspective, I don't think it's super deep. It feels more like a gameplay thing, to let us mess around with both sides, fly villain ships, or mess with dark side powers, just for fun. But the good stuff? That's in the voice logs from the clone troopers. First off, they don't even seem to know why they're here. They're literally questioning whether they're being left behind on this weird island. Straight up saying things like, "Are we stuck here?" Total panic mode. And you can tell these guys aren't equipped for Fortnite rules. No gliders, no clue. Just straight fear of fall damage being their final moment. But the fourth message, that one hits different. It reveals that Palpatine is specifically interested in all the scrap metal lying around the island. Even the troopers don't know why, but they're under orders to collect it and report back. By the way, all these terminals where you hear those messages, you'll find them inside Vader's Solitude. And just like the Empire, the Rebels have their own data logs you can collect. You'll need to head over to the Resistance base and recover the records from there. But fair warning, most of what you'll hear from the Rebels is pretty straightforward. They're gearing up to attack the Empire, and one guy's clearly stressing about their lack of firepower. Like, are we seriously this under-equipped? And honestly, yeah, they kind of are. There's also one last log that seems tied to a specific Star Wars character, but I'll admit, I didn't fully catch the reference. So if you're a die-hard Star Wars fan and you know what it means, drop it in the comments. I'm all ears. Now, about that firepower problem, good news is you can help out. Poe Dameron is offering flight lessons, and once you complete his mission, you're basically part of his squad. I say basically, because right after that, you can still help the dark side. Like I said before, I doubt this has much impact on the official lore. It's more of a fun gameplay loop. If it was canon, we'd basically be the villains for double-crossing everybody. That brings us to Episode 2, The Pull of the Force. While Palpatine stays hidden up in the Death Star, more portals are opening up across the island, this time bringing Mace Windu and Darth Maul. And alongside them, Luke, Leia, and Han Solo show up, ready to train us. You can start by talking to Luke. He's ready to train you just like Yoda trained him. He'll send you on a glider course through 10 rings, and if you pull it off, you get a mythic blaster pistol as a reward. Bonus: this mission is repeatable, so you can farm that pistol every match if you want. Next up, we've got Han Solo. Just like in the movies, you'll find him hanging out at the cantina, and your job is to recruit him to help fight the Empire. But Han's not just handing out favors, you've got to prove yourself. First, beat his score for damage dealt to structures. Once you do that, it unlocks Phase 2, where you'll need to eliminate 5 clone troopers. After that, head back, and Han will reward you with the same mythic blaster pistol Luke gives out. And just like Luke's quest, Han's is repeatable. The second time around, all you have to do is damage structures again, and boom, you get the blaster. And hey, yeah, I know I third-partied that guy. No regrets. Now moving on to Leah. Her questline's a little deeper. You can ask her about a few different topics, but one of her responses really stands out. If you ask about the Empire's plan, she says something like, "Some secrets are better left hidden for now," which to me pretty much confirms that we will get answers later in the season about what Palpatine's really up to. In Leah's mission, she asks you to investigate a hidden Imperial supply depot somewhere on the island. To get inside, you'll have to connect some power cables on and blow open the cave entrance. Once inside, you'll find a terminal that doesn't give you much text, but your character learns the Empire's secret objective. After that, you return to Leah, and she says it's time to strike. So yeah, big moves are coming. And with the May 15th update, Chewbacca is finally here, bringing some new gear with him to train us in crossbow combat. But the real story heat is coming with Episode 3, dropping May 22nd. That's when we hit new loot and finally unlock a customizable Mandalorian skin. You already know I'll be breaking it all down when that hits. But here's where things get really interesting. This new Mandalorian skin? It's not just another outfit for your locker. According to the leaks, we're getting 4 new Mandalorian characters on the map, all recruitable NPCs. And yeah, that's probably gonna tie directly into the next phase of the story. Now, whether they'll help us or not remains to be seen, but it looks like the rebels are about to launch their full-scale counterattack against the Empire. Why? Because on May 29th, Episode 4 drops. Epic already confirmed that in this update, one player in every match will be able to pilot a Star Destroyer. Yep. And lore-wise, that means Palpatine finally gives the order to start blasting the island into pieces. But this part of the season will be short, barely a week. Because on June 7th, we're heading straight into the live finale, Episode 5, Death Star Sabotage. This is the end of the Star Wars mini-season and the beginning of something way bigger. Now, before we dive into the superhero stuff, let's talk timelines. Fortnite's been and here's the twist. Midas is the one running the show. Whether it's the outlaw version we saw recently or something brand new, he's recruiting a team of young superpowered recruits. Why? Probably not out of the goodness of his heart. This is Midas we're talking about. The theory right now is that Midas wants to control zero-point energy, and he knows he can't take on that kind of power alone. Some say he's building a team to take revenge on the Storm King, but more likely, he's getting ready for a showdown with Dago, who, as we know, is fully corrupted and gathering demon forces. And here's the juicy part. It's possible that Midas is already forming that team right now, during the Star Wars season. The theory lines up with the timeline. Dago already turned into a demon by the end of the Lawless season, so if he's already back on the island, Midas is probably moving fast to balance, all leading up to an eventual clash with Dago. Of course, take it with a grain of salt. It's all built off a handful of leaks and a lot of theorizing. But it does look like we'll be getting 8 different superpowers as mythic weapons, plus new gameplay mechanics. And the big stuff's clearly happening after June 7th. And as far as I can tell, no one on the island even knows what happened to Daigo in the spirit realm. So that hidden threat, the darkness, corrupted Daigo, who knows what else, is probably cooking up for next season. And I'm betting the final event with the Death Star blowing up is gonna involve those sus characters too. At first glance, you might think this season's launch is kinda underwhelming. And you'd be right. But here's the thing. Epic's drip-feeding the content all month long. They literally gave us a roadmap before the season started, so trust. By the end, there's gonna be tons of content. The craziest part? Toward the final weeks, we're actually gonna be in. I had a blast flying starfighters, blasting blasters, and chasing squads with a lightsaber.